As you mentioned just now, it's a good point that you mentioned. So just to segue to this, there was this very nice lyric that I found that I like from this old classic rock band called The Who, right? So it goes like this. It said, "I'll tip my hat to the new constitution, take a bow for the new revolution, smile and grin at the change all around, pick up my guitar and play just like yesterday. Then I'll get on my knees and pray we don't get fooled again, don't get fooled again, no, no. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss." Now, with that in mind, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. The way you are saying now, Muhyiddin was from the BN government before. And, even if PN comes into power and, we may be getting the same thing as we did many, many decades ago. Do you think that perhaps Malaysians should be brave enough to explore other options, such as the third force or the left in the coming election?
You mean, the next election so far away? I don't know what Malaysians want. I mean, I think we, of course, if there are a lot of people say, the left is, like the good guys and all that. But, the left, if they want to govern, will have to govern a coalition. This country is going to be, Barisan Nasional was a coalition, right? So coalitions are just the nature of the beast. In Malaysia, I don't know. See, I don't know what you want from politics. I actually don't want so much from politics. I think maybe I've become less inclined to believe that politics is going to deliver everything. For me personally and for us collectively. I just don't think it's going to be the winner. And maybe societies don't change that way. Maybe, human societies, tend not to change as dramatically as we think. Sometimes there are dramatic moments, but they tend to snap back into a kind of DNA, as the lyrics from The Who suggest. And they have wonderful movies that reflect that kind of attitude, that kind of thinking, right? That, in fact, in many ways, the old DNA within a society reemerges even after a revolution, right? A revolution be promising and completely overturned. So I actually think that maybe, unfortunately for the human race, it is going to be something much more cataclysmic that is going to make us think differently about ourselves. And therefore, coming back to James Lovelock, he was asked, this was in his late 90s or maybe mid-90s, he was asked about, not using plastic bags so much. And then he just sort of poo-pooed the idea and said that he actually thought we had gone beyond the tipping point in terms of how we had changed the dynamics of the planet. But, he was a great believer in the planet and in life in general. And, we've had many mass extinctions on the planet. If in this next one, human beings are wiped out, what do you think is going to happen? He thinks about
life's a cycle.
But no, in this case, humans might not come back
in
quite the same way. So he's not hopeful about human beings. He's actually much more bullish about life as a whole. And though I must say he's quite interested in the human being as a moment in which the planet gets to reflect upon itself, because we are that kind of creature that the planet is produced, right? We're all produced by sunlight.
Yes.
So I'm a sun worshipper, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, so for me, it's, I'm much more at this point in my life thinking about that. I like to see democracy deliver on small things. And, it's important that those who are really not doing well in our country get more support. I know this is often read in racial terms, but I don't think it's that. There are a lot of people who are suffering in this country, live in the peripheries. The Bajalawat story, again, is a reminder of how people are hard done by the structures that we have. And that's what I want politics to deliver on. I don't need, and I don't want actually grand visions. I think, in fact, the 20th century is full of grand visions, and we know how that went. So, no, I think less politics, maybe some good administration, and a little more compassion for the country.
No, just in closing, since you mentioned about movies, there's this really amazing political movie called Lions for Lambs. It's a beautiful movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. Robert Redford's in it. It's amazing. And there's a line in that movie that where this professor says that in World War I, the Germans were very impressed by the British soldiers, just how much fight they had. And but they would mock all the British superior officers by saying that they were rubbish. And the quote that one of these German generals wrote was that never has he ever seen such lions ruled by such lambs. When I think about that, and I think about the way politics is in Malaysia, sometimes we get disappointed and all that with the stature of leadership and all that. Maybe we want better, maybe want more. I'm sure you do too. I don't think you would be happy with everything as the way it is. It's not perfect. But my thing is, in today's world, which is a very different world from 1990s, now it's a different world now. Do you think that perhaps the answer for a better nation resides more with us as a society rather than relying on politicians?
Look, as far as I can tell, politicians are human beings and they're members of our society. And in many ways, they're a symptom of us. So, yes, I mean, in a sense, you could just say that, if we as a society are much more involved, if we're much more thoughtful, and if we're much more compassionate, we'll produce a politics that's more thoughtful and compassionate. And that politicians will follow our lead. Because that's
not the other way around?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just following the logic of what you're saying is that, okay, but because I don't see a strict division between this lambs and lions thing. I really don't know if Malaysians as a whole are so great. I mean, society, as opposed to their politicians so horrible. I mean, the truth is, I think they're just as bad as we are. And look, Malaysians are pretty, the knocking is going on. The Malaysians can be as racial. I mean, check the number of people who complained about racism in the country who themselves scratch them, pinch them, poke them, and they will be racist themselves. The racism is everywhere.
Everyone's racist. I agree with that.
Right? Yeah, so I don't think politicians are a different creature. I think they're a function of who we are. And so, but we need to do more work. And I think, I work in the media partly because I have a, belief, faith, as deluded as most faith-based belief systems are, that we will become better. I do believe that, but I think it's a bit deluded. I think more likely is something cataclysmic is going to happen, and then we'll all have to be better.
Because
we could just bungle the whole thing and do much worse, because crisis will force us to make the changes that we need. We will
change at the precipice of something.
As we are free falling off the cliff. I mean,
that's when we decide to build a plane.
I don't think that maybe that unfortunately for Malaysia, the complacency and years of entitlement and feeling the center of the world. We wake up suddenly find, Vietnam has overtaken us. Oh my God. I mean, we always believed Singapore was ahead of us. But, Vietnam one day overtook us, right? Remember when they announced all the EV cars and all that? And it's like, hey, we thought of it first, but because we never acted on it sufficiently. And Indonesia is going to overtake us, And I believe today, the Sarawakians are very tired of the federation and also looking to overtake us. They're going to take, internally they're going to...
The things they say is very progressive and very nice.
And you do see it in any government. I mean, you see it in the if you look at the so-called most progressive states of the federation, I mean, the Selangors and the Penangs. Are they being run with dynamic people who are announcing things on an almost weekly basis? I mean, I'm not saying that the Sarawakian leadership is necessarily going to get it all right, but they have that kind of ambition, the kind of thing that you like, strong leadership, brook no dissent, have a vision,